This is going to be a little lengthy because I did something I don't normally do, and that's scroll the FYP of social media before I get my morning coffee. And I came across a video where a pastor was preaching from the pulpit. And as a former Christian and a former pastor, I was so disheartened listening to him. He was actually doing everything that I had ever been taught to not do, right? So after I watched that video, I called a friend on the phone who is still a Christian, and we have a healthy respect for one another. We have a healthy respect for one another's beliefs, and this is why we could have these tough conversations. And in this conversation, it got deep. It got intensely deep. And I told her, I said, I don't know, but this is my thoughts. You could come for me if you want to. It's not going to matter because you can't change that. It's my thought, and it was what I felt at the time that I was speaking to my dear friend. And I told her, I said, do you believe, or did you ever think that maybe the state of Christianity is what it is today because everything that's being done in Christianity is the will of man and no longer the will of God, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever you want to call your higher power? Did you ever stop to think of that? But we're going to talk specifically about Christianity, because though I have done a little studying with Buddhism and Islam and all those things, I did intense studying with Christianity. I said, it's funny to me. Maybe all the power associated with Christianity has been lost because praying and praising Jesus when that's not his name. You said every tongue shall confess, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord, but that's not his name. We say the power of life and death lies in the tongue. And so for centuries now, we've been taught and have been teaching, for those of us that taught Christianity, that name you should bow to, the name that knee should bow to, and the name that tongue shall confess is Jesus. But that's not his name. So I asked, do you think that things have gotten progressively worse for Christians and the Christian faith because the power of life and death lies in the tongue? And what we've been saying, what we've been preaching, and what we've been teaching, we've been utilizing the wrong name. And so her response to that was, but I've had some wondrous things happen in my life because of my belief in the name of Jesus. And I stopped her right there. I said, let me stop you right there and ask you a question. Do you believe that it was because of the name you prayed in that those things happened, or the faith that you had that those things would be done that caused them to happen? And she stopped and she's like, Mo, I never thought about it like that. I never thought of it like that. Yeah. It's not the name that you were believing on or the name that you were praying in. It's the faith. You believed what you were praying for. You believed that it could be done. I can't speak for anyone else, but I could just speak for myself. And in speaking for myself, part of why I transitioned out of Christianity, I believe I just transitioned out of Christianity. I know there's a higher power. I'm just searching to see. what that higher power is, right? But I do believe we've gotten so sidetracked. We've gotten things so wrong because we've invested in the wrong thing. In the wrong thing. I believe that all these religions, all these belief systems have partial truth. I believe that it's from one source. And the ability of man to shape and mold things to what they believe and to get you to see what they want you to see has diluted where we really should be and what we really should be believing. Throughout Christianity, things changed. Words changed, meanings changed, and even the way things were practiced changed. And this is something that I learned by studying. And to study, you have to read outside of the Bible. You can't just read the Bible. You have to go deeper. And I watched Christianity transition based on the behavior of man. Based on the behavior of man. All while telling practitioners that God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. But the way Christianity is practiced changes based on the behavior of men. I have a problem with that. And this is how I transitioned out of, this is why, partially why I transitioned out of Christianity. I know that there's a possible chance we will never get all the answers, right? I could accept that. But I can also accept that when something stinks, it stinks. When something's not right, it's not right. And when religion changes based on the behavior of man, we all should have questions. When religion is willing to forgive and forget based on the person that committed the sin, when they're willing to render compassion based on the person or the group of people that committed the sin, we all should question. Are we believing in the religion, or are we believing in the man?